Hi, it's Irene here again, and I'm now speaking to my second talking heads for Harlawhill Day Centre. And this is Ewan, and Ewan is on the board for the charity as one of the trustees.
Yeah.
So good morning, Ewan.
Good morning, Irene. Nice to see you again.
Thank you very much for giving us the time here to do that. So I just want to give us a wee, tell us about the charity.
Yeah, well, it's Harlawhill Day Centre based in Prestonpans, God's own country, as we say. It's we were formed in 1992 by one of the local GPs. It was Dr. Gracie. He realised there was a gap in the community between the care for the elderly and then the next stage of moving into care homes or going into hospital, and there was nothing in between to care for them. So he set up a steering group, which our late chairwoman Jean Thompson, she was part of that. A really vocal campaigner was Jean, and they managed to set up the charity, and through the council they managed to get this building, which was the heart of the community. It was the old court building, known to everybody from a young age in Prestonpans. And it was a long, hard struggle in the very early years, but eventually the council saw the merit of it and saw the worth and bought into the service, and we've kind of progressed along the years to where we are now. So that's 32 years we've been on the go, but it's been a lot of hard work and been a lot of great support for the community along the way during the dark days, which there were many staff not getting paid and holding coffee mornings to pay staff wages and wondering where we're going to keep the lights on and things like that. So it's certainly changed days from back then before I joined. So
hard going. So what do you think the sort of biggest changes are since those days to now then?
I think it's more the settled regime, which can be good and bad, but we're in a good position now. So for years we were under what was called a service level agreement with the East Lothian Health and Social Care Partnership, and then just before COVID they decided that because of the money that was being spent, possibly total on all the 9 daycare centres in East Lothian, we reached the procurement threshold, so they wanted to put everything out for procurement. So that was a long process over nearly 3 years, which was finalised. It went out for procurement last August. We all went through the process and won the contracts, which started in January this year. So that's initially a 27-month contract because of the way it started. So financially, we know what we've got for the next 2 and a bit years. We were able to budget for that. So we've got our staff wages, our utility bills and everything all costed for that. So it's good in that respect, but still trying to find core costs and things like that as well. And whilst there's still a structure, there's more and more work getting pushed on the manager now as well, in the forms of reports, so for oversight bodies, for the council and the care inspector and things like that. And it's on top of all our other daily work for staff appraisals and sorting things out and wages and things. So there's a lot more paperwork that goes with the job. There's a lot more oversight, which is not a bad thing, but it kind of takes a manager away from being at the forefront where she probably should be.
Do you think that's more challenging now with those sort of things than before? Do you think that's the sort of biggest challenge?
Yeah, definitely. And the paperwork and the complexity of the paperwork, because a lot of it's changed from someone coming in to inspect you and saying this is what we find, whereas we're now having to do self-assessments. So you look at the core principles of the care industry as they're set out. You've then got to self-assess yourself or where you fit on those those principles, and then present it, and then see if they agree with where you sit in that equation. So you're kind of doing a lot of their work for them.
Yeah, it's a lot more on yourself.
Yeah.
And I suppose like being a trustee, is you're a volunteer.
Yeah.
And so this is all your own time that
that's it. And it's a lot for trustees to probably take on, which, as you know, we'll come into, but it's why I got involved with yourselves.
That's right,
I mean, I've came from a background in the police, know nothing about the care industry whatsoever. But what I did find the first day that I came in here, I had a lot of transferable skills I didn't know I had, such as doing reports and working with IT and things like that. So I was able to help the manager out in respect to sorting out the IT system and helping with reports and doing analytical work and things like that, and helping preparing documents and things. So hopefully it takes a bit of pressure off the manager and some of the staff as well. So trying to make the systems a bit more streamlined.
It's great that you're having that involvement in it, because I think for a charity, having a good board that's able to help and take on the role is really important, isn't it?
We're great. All the trustees on the board are fantastic. I mean, like our treasurer Bills, the work he puts in, the chairman Fiona and the secretary Monig and that, and Susan Robert. I mean, they all bring their own strengths and their own experience, which is great because it's so diverse. If one of us doesn't know how to do something, you can hope the other ones will.
And that's what you want when you're creating a board for a charity, is to have all these different skills that then come together. Because you are a charity, but as you know, you've been attending a lot of our business gateway workshops and networking, Ewan, because you wanted to get that knowledge behind you and start to grow. Because although it's a charity, commercially you still have to think about surviving and pulling.
And it was especially the procurement process. I mean, it was because of the work I did previously in the police. I mean, I was used to doing a lot of analytical work, so knowing where to go and research things and find out how to do things wasn't so much a difficulty. But it was quite daunting for not just our charity, for all the other charities and all the other day centres involved, who are all volunteers as well. And I can only really speak for our charity. None of us were involved in the business world coming into this. So it was very daunting, and I quickly realised we really need to get our business heads on here, and that's how I found the Business Gateway. And I thought, there's these courses out here, there's presentations, they're all free. It's really going to start making use of them, and they've been invaluable to me, certainly on the social media side and the AI, and it's been such a great help. And like you see, the social network and meeting all these people, Michelle and things, and the quality of the presenters that these are getting as well, it's just first class.
Well, we love having you coming along, because I think it's great to have, it's the diversity of the businesses that come along to these things, that everybody's skills and what you do and how you do things, and it just all adds to the mix, doesn't it, of
that's right,
information that you take away, etc, etc. So any sort of finally, you and any budding trustees out there that are thinking about it, any tips for them?
Don't be put off by what I'm saying. I can honestly say, after a 27-year in police and seeing the worst of humanity, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, I didn't come here as a trustee, I came here as a volunteer. I came on day one after attending one of the fundraisers, because my friend's dad came here until he passed away this year. And I thought I could maybe do one day a week or something like that. And I came down on the first day and I just never left. And that's 6 years ago. And then it was 3 years ago I was asked to go on the board of trustees. But it's so rewarding, as I was saying to you earlier on, to get to do life-changing, it's so drastic, but the life story books, which have been life-changing for the families when the people are no longer there, to have something like that. And I did Fiona, the manager's, I did her mother's life story book, and she's now got 6 or 7 hours worth of recordings of her mother talking about her life for childhood all the way through, and she's got the book which has done the rounds all around Prestonpans. So, but you know, to be involved in things like that, but even just to sit down and play it with somebody.
Well, we met Dorothy and she's
exactly, exactly.
Full interesting lives, you know.
But that's the thing, there's no, it's probably wrong to say there's no political correctness. You're dealing with a different generation. And we were all, the way things are going these days, we were all brought up in different eras and things were different back then. So you've got to allow them to speak the way they want to speak. There's no point in trying to correct someone who's 98 years old.
I'm better than my dad, so
yes.
I know.
So there's freedom of speech in here, as it should be.
Fantastic. And is there anyone you want to connect with while we're on film? Ewan, is there any fundraising activities you maybe want to give a shout out about?
We're registered with the Kilt Walk as one of the charities on the Kilt Walk, and the registrations for the Kilt Walk for 2025 have just opened up. So if anybody's thinking of doing the Kilt Walk in 2025, I'd be greatly obliged if you choose us as your chosen charity, and we can help you with our own fundraising Facebook page as well, so we can help you with that. But we're also interested in talking to local businesses as well that might be interested in a commercial partnership, a social economic type thing that we could, perhaps they could maybe take us on as their chosen charity. We could perhaps offer you know, volunteer days for members of staff and things like that, and try and go down that route, because I said core funding's a real serious issue for us in a lot of charities. It's not something that's readily available. So to try and get things like you know, the toilets, as you've seen, we just got refurbished, the kitchen, even getting the room like this done up costs a lot of money, and we're needing new floors, new lighting and things like that as well. And the funds out there are few and far between for that. But
competitive now as well.
Exactly, and they're often oversubscribed. So but it's always looking through funds and always sitting at the computer. But hopefully it's worthwhile.
Perfect. So, well, thank you very much for your time. It was really interesting. Back to you, Steve.